the auctioneer here that can't count. So there we go, 113 years old. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another consignment update here at Garner Holgate Auction Rooms in Corsham, Wiltshire, UK. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Luke Hobbs, the auctioneer and head of department here, and we have another great bumper selection coming up to show you that are going into the auction on the 11th to the 14th of March. We've had a very, very busy week actually. Last week it was quite quiet because it's our first week back after Christmas and coming into the new year. But the floodgates have now opened and the racks are starting to look very full, which is nice to see. So a much longer video today. We've got some really, really lovely pieces, a really varied video as well. Lots of nice acoustics, lots of nice electrics. We've got some vintage stock and some modern stock and some very, very quirky guitars as well. So as always, while you're watching this video, I hope you do enjoy it. Comment on anything you like the look of. Comment for any amendments you may have, any mistakes that we may have made. And of course, if you do like this video, I'll let you decide at the end. Please do remember to subscribe to our channel, hit the like button and hit the bell icon. It all helps like-minded people view these videos and get involved with the auction fun. So I think that's enough of me waffling on. Let's have a look at what we've got. First up, we have a couple of interesting local luthier made instruments that were commissioned by a customer. So this was made by a luthier called Andrew Manners, who is actually local to us. He's based in Corsham. He actually handles all of my guitars. He's very, very good indeed. And this is called a Red Star bass. There we go, 2013, 2014. So Andy made and finished the body. Very, very good job indeed. Nitro finish. And then you can see there's a Sims custom shop neck as well. So you've got this Thunderbird type headstock, but it's got a Fender Jazz bass profile neck. And it's got this it's got a bit of reinforcement there as well, so a lot more stable than a Gibson neck, that's for sure. But certainly giving those Gibson vibes of the Explorer type body and the Thunderbird style neck. And the electrics and circuitry, as it says on the back there, are all status graphite. This bass does sound really good. It sounds massive actually. It sounds as big as it looks. And one little cool feature is, there we go, light up frets. So very flashy thing. It's very, very high quality indeed. Really nice to play, huge sound, and comes in this just as huge flight case that has been made for the job. And then here, again by the same maker, we have an axe bass. So inspired by John Entwistle of The Who. So we've got this black body, nitro finished body. You can see there 2010, 2011, built by Andy Manners. Great guy, great luthier. So if you are local to us and you haven't used him before, I can highly recommend him. Like I said, looks after all my guitars. This has a Fender, genuine Fender jazz bass neck, as you can see there, made in Japan neck. And it's got these bass lines pickups as well, which again are great pickups, great jazz bass pickups. A lot of people use them for mods when they're upgrading their inferior pickups on projects and things like that. But yeah, another great thing with its case. And then there is a laminated photograph of John Entwistle using a bass in that style. And there we go again, another one there. That one's tacked down, so yeah, another cool thing. And here we have a really nice acoustic. This is a Martin D28 12 string, so a D12-28 as they call them officially. But generally it's in very good condition, apart from one thing. It's unfortunately at some point had a neck repair. It has been repaired well, it is stable, and yeah, it just I think for those who are looking for a 12 string, want a decent quality Martin, that obviously will reflect on the price. So for some of you, it'll be a good thing because you can get a, well, quite frankly, an amazing 12 string for a fraction of the price that an original would cost if you don't really care about the head brake. Obviously it will affect your on-sale value, but if you ever intended to do so in the future. But there we go, good option for someone who wants a, I guess the term is player's grade. But apart from that, there's not really a lot else wrong with it. Comes with its original case. Here we have a, not an expensive, but a nice Dobro. So this is when Dobro went into essentially the Gibson family, but this would be the Epiphone equivalent. So this is a Hound Dog, and from 2020, as you can see, it's got the Epiphone type serial number as well. So you can see sort of the factory it's come out of, but it's in very, very good condition. It's a very good guitar. Comes with its original case. So for the money, a few £100, £300 to £400 at auction, and you can get yourself a very, very good resonator indeed. So in here we have a nice clean Strat. This is a Mexican-made 50s reissue, so from 2007, as the serial number shows us, in this Fiesta red finish, and it's just a good solid guitar that's not going to really break the bank. You'll be looking at anywhere between 3 and 450 hammer on these, and they are quite incredible for the money, I have to say. So in here we have a Squier guitar, but there's something quite interesting about this guitar. So this was a test bed model for the Brian May pickups. As you can see there, we've got BMG Super on the pickups, and there was a few of these guitars, Squier guitars, that were used by a guy called Adrian Turner, who went under the name of Addison. He was a pickup manufacturer, pickup designer, and he was responsible for designing all of the pickups for the Brian May guitars. So this guitar in particular was used for the prototypes and things like that, and this was sent to and from the Brian May camp. So there's a possibility that Brian May played this guitar, but it was sent between Adrian and the Brian May camp for approval, for tweaks, improvement suggestions, but it has a set of these very rare BMG Super pickups in, which I've been told are more accurate to Brian May's guitar than some of the other pickups that are now used. So
wasn't it like Burns, they released the minis at
the mini, that was right, they released the minis.
They released those in favour of the Supers, which
exactly.
are apparently the better thing.
Yeah, so there we go. Interesting instrument. If anyone's seen Nosferatu, we have Count Warlock hidden in this case. There we go. Don't really know what to say about this, to be honest with you. I can't say it's my favourite type of guitar. I'm sure there's lots of people out there who love pointy guitars, but it's got another thing going for it, or maybe against it for most of our viewers. It's left-handed as well. So yeah, BC Rich Platinum Series Warlock, left-handed, and it comes with a coffin case, which have value in their own right. So I guess in some ways, from a marketing point of view, you get a nice coffin case with a free Warlock guitar inside. So in this old looking case, it's almost like a Gibson case, this, but we have a vintage Vox bass guitar. Quite collectible these days. Exchange hands for 4 figures when they are all up together in good condition. We used to get sort of mid-hundreds for these when I first started selling guitars about 15 years ago. But this is from around 1968, a Vox Mark IV bass, teardrop bass. So this will be one of the Italian-made ones, shifted from England to Italy in, I think it was 65, 66. but it does need some work and some love. It's had its frets removed and filled, so it's currently a fretless bass, but it could be converted back quite easily by someone who knows what they're doing. Lots of lacquer checking around, lots of tarnishing to the hardware, but I mean it's not bad, but it does need a bit of TLC. What will it bring? Quite honestly, I don't know. Like I said, they can bring over £1,000, but when they're up together. But we'll probably put something like a £500 to £700 estimate on it for someone to take on as a project. A refret, if someone wishes to do that, could cost a couple of hundred anyway. So yeah, it's an interesting thing anyway, and you don't see many of them around. So in this big case, which is original to the guitar, is this CSL double neck. It's a 12 and 6 double neck. It is essentially the Ibanez. I think it's a 2403 model. Don't quote me on that. That could be wrong, but I'm sure it is. But anyway, there we go. So it is the equivalent of the Ibanez. In fact, it is basically the same guitar, just rebranded accordingly. And as mad as it sounds, even though it's the same guitar, you will get it at a fraction of the price of the Ibanez ones, because the Ibanez ones can get they can get up to sort of £1,000 and a bit more. These will come in at around £400 to £600. You can see it's got an original case, which is very much identical to the Ibanez cases. But this one's it's in fairly good condition. It does need some electrical work. The 12-string side, which is essentially you've got these three-way switches. There's one for the treble side, one for the 12 side, and then you've got this switch that goes between the two. When you've got this side engaged, there's nothing happening. Probably a simple wiring fix, it usually is. Although it, I guess, on the face of it, could appear quite complicated. It's not. You've got one for one, one for the other, and this in the middle to switch between the two. So could just be something wrong with this switch. But other than that, there you go. It's a Don Felder on a budget. We look at the case here, there's something quite interesting about it. It has a Venom stencil. Obviously there's the band Venom. We're not sure whether it's got any relation to them at all. There was some research carried out, and someone was contacted who seems to be an oracle about the band, and he says, as far as he's aware, their guitarist was never seen using one of these double necks in any known documentation or photographs. But yeah, it's interesting nonetheless. So we've got a very high-end Strat type guitar here, a maker called Stefan de Pergo, US based. So I guess this is Fender Custom Shop Plus Standard. In fact, and then some, really. Very, very high quality guitars. These do change hands for ridiculous money. Well, new, they are ridiculous. I mean, I have seen some Stefan de Pergo guitars that retail at 10 grand plus, but then I guess some Fender Custom Shop guitars do as well. But as you can see, it's got this nitro finish, see-through nitro finish. There you go, handmade in the USA, so all the parts are bespoke, made. Very, very comfortable neck. I guess it's not quite a modern C, but it's got a bit more chunk to it. So moving more into D territory, but not too big. And you've got this faux shell guard, the humbucker pickups. So yeah, very, very high quality guitar indeed. I don't believe we have the spec sheet on this one, unfortunately. I am awaiting that, but just to see exactly what we've got. But yeah, very good guitar indeed. And if you are wanting a Stefan de Pergo, then here is a good chance. Another nice, fairly budget thing. The owner called this his Bob Marley guitar. Obviously, Bob Marley used a old Gibson Special. But there we go. This is a Shaftesbury. So it's surprising. Well, not surprising, because Shaftesbury do make good quality guitars, but this does feel very good quality. It's got the pancake body, which was very similar or a thing of the time. Gibson were doing it as well. So we've got this pancake mahogany body, the P90 pickups. The knobs have been replaced by the looks of it. It's got some upgraded Goto tuners, but yeah, I think it's for the money, which is probably going to come in at 150, 200, 250 maybe. It's a good Les Paul Special type guitar. Incredibly versatile guitar in here, so it must be a PRS. And we have a PRS Special 22, so a 22 fret, and it's got this like thin line, so semi-hollow body on one side, and we've got the humbucker, stacked humbucker pickups, all the switching options. Incredibly high quality guitar from 2019, and in this black gold finish, and the condition is very, very good as well. I don't think there's a mark on it. Comes with its original case, all the paperwork. Great guitar. Some people love these, some people really don't. But we have a 2015, so it's the Les Paul 100 year, Les Paul Junior. So I guess what you've got here is a good mix of old simple styling with new concepts. So if I turn it over, of course, you've got the robot tuners, which most people just rip off and chuck in the bin. But they do work well in certain situations. They can be frustrating in others. But there we go. One thing about this guitar, which is a thing I don't like personally, is is basically the neck width. Much wider neck, and I can't get on with the profile. But some people really do like that, but it's not for me. Of course, you just got the simple single cut body, big slab of mahogany, and exactly it is rock and roll machine. That's what they're made for. And I guess the other modern thing is you've got this compensated bridge as well. But it comes with its original gold case, special gold case, and then in the pocket we've got all the bits and bobs, including the charger for the robot tuner. And from the case you'll see Gibson protector case, must be a Gibson, and it is. So I'm a big fan of SGs, as many of you will have fathomed by now. This is a 1973 Gibson SG Custom, so got the 3 humbucker pickups, and it does have some mods, but they are fully reversible, as we will see in a minute. So at some point someone has had some Clusen tuners on there, as you can see from the holes in the back. That is obviously not reversible, but we've got you can see there's sort of lots of wear over here, but there's no breaks or repairs or anything, which is good. It's obviously been played quite a lot because it's had a refret and replaced binding as well, so all the nibs are in place. You can see that is not Gibson binding, but nice and playable. We've got the original bridge, but then we've got a Bigsby, but it has been installed with a Vibra mate, so there's been no drilling extra holes to put this Bigsby in place, so this can be reversed. Got some locking Strat buttons. They are not original. The knobs are replaced, but we do have the originals that we'll see in a minute. And it has been rewired slightly, so you've got 3 volume controls, 1 for each pickup, and then you've got a master tone control. So in my opinion, that is the best way to do these guitars. Other people will disagree, but if it was me, that is what I would do. But there we go. Bit of buckle rush on the back. Comes with a protector case. So again, from 1973, Gibson SG Custom. And then in this rather lovely bag, my little bear mate there, holding it all in for me, we've got a selection of original parts. So there's the Vibra mate box, but we've got the original stop bar, got the original posts, Got the original pots dating to 73. I think we've got all of them, yeah, all 4 of them. And we got the original control knobs as well. All the washers, and then we have the original Strat buttons. So essentially it can all be put back to stock. It is a shame about the holes on the from the old tuners on the back of the head, but other than that, it's yeah, nice now vintage piece. And like I said, I love SGs, and I'm sure lots of you do as well. In this Fender case, original Fender case, we have this in very good clean condition, this 1988 Fender Telecaster in the blonde finish, and as it's in such good condition, there's not really a lot to say. There is a bit of tarnishing to the frets, so it does need some fret cleaning, but apart from that, it's all good to go. So if you want a late 80s Telecaster, there you go. In here we have a Yamaha Pacifica, but this one has been upgraded. Some good mods on this one. So this is a 311 model. So the base model is essentially a single coil and a humbucker in the neck, but this has had an additional humbucker in the middle, and this is a Seymour Duncan 59. So it is a good quality pickup in there, and we have also got a Seymour Duncan rail stacked humbucker put in the bridge. So quite a high output guitar, I guess. It's also had this Bigsby licensed trem put on, and the sort of I guess the Telecaster Bigsby style plate to work with that. So yeah, some good mods on this guitar, upgrading it nicely, and I guess taking it from a 100 and 150 pound guitar to a 200 pound plus guitar. But you get some good parts on there, and well, if you want, take the parts off, and the value will be in the parts anyway. So it comes with a, well, just a generic oblong hard case. Nice early burns. I say nice, some people don't think they're nice, like the man behind the camera. Not a big fan of burns. I quite like their quirky charm, but as vintage guitars go, come at a very good price point. You can get these for £300 to £400 hammer at auction, but this one is essentially in good original condition. We're missing a switch tip. And when I say good condition, most of them that you see are like this, with this kind of wear. So I think very acceptable for the age. We've got a couple of holes here for whatever reason, probably Strat buttons been put in there at some point. But we do have these Burns Trisonic pickups, which are good pickups, and we've got the all the correct switching from around 1960. So it is an early guitar, and yeah, probably £300 to £500 at auction. You'll pick up a cool, quirky vintage bargain. Interesting Tele-type guitar here. I know nothing about the person who made this guitar. There's nothing out there that I can find. Maybe someone watching this video might know, but Garner Guitars UK, maybe it's someone made it as a project. Maybe someone wanted to start out making guitars but didn't carry on. But you've got this interesting headstock. Decent quality neck, actually. We've got this really highly figured bird's eye maple. It's quite a small profile, so perfect for smaller hands. A decent rosewood board. And then we've got this maple capped, what looks like mahogany body, and then you've got these Kent Armstrong soap bar pickups, and then some Kluson Deluxe tuners. So there's obviously been some thought put into it, some decent quality parts, and yeah, if you want a Telecaster that is a bit different, then could be a good option. And because it's a custom build guitar, it will certainly come in at low hundreds. And in here we have, I think this is the first one we've had of these. So Japanese guitar from around 2000. I think these were made 2000 to 2002. But this is the Iron Maiden Stratocaster. So you've got the black finish, mirrored guard. You've got the Seymour Duncan rail and stacked humbuckers. So of course the correct output you need for Iron Maiden. You've got the Floyd Rose trem, of course. And there we go. You can see crafted in Japan with the serial number, and it's in very, very good condition. So you don't see these that often at all. Like I said, first one I've had through our hands in, like I said, well, yeah, first one I've had through our hands in about 15 years. So yeah, interesting thing. And then here we have quite an incredible acoustic guitar. It's got a lovely tone. It's by a maker, or it's labelled Paul Xavier, and there's not really a lot to say. Well, there's something to say about him, but it's not someone that is massively well known, and it's quite surprising because the quality of this guitar is quite incredible. Now the story goes that he had some guidance from Andrew Manson down in Devon, and as we can see, we've got this walnut back and sides, spruce top, rosewood board, lovely figuring on the head face there, and this mahogany neck. It really does have good quality throughout. And yeah, like I said, not really a lot known about the maker. The owner actually bought this from the maker directly. Like I said, can't find any information about him really, but the seller knew the maker and offered to buy it off him, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. So all I can really say is, if you get the chance to come down to the sale room and try out guitars, it really is worth giving this one a go. If you want a sort of smaller bodied acoustic, like most things, very Martin inspired, but I think, yeah, you won't be disappointed if you want a small body guitar. It's got really nice, sweet tone, and it's a really nice player as well. So maybe if you can't come down and you fancy a punt, estimate-wise, we can't really put much more than £500 to £800 on it, because you can't, because it's a fairly unknown maker. But yeah, certainly one to look out for if you want a decent quality acoustic guitar. More in the budget range again with this one. We have an Epiphone Sheraton. Again, very, very high quality guitars. This is a Korean made one from 1990. There we go. Has the vintage sunburst finish, and apart from some typical gold plating loss, it's in good condition. And here, for those who saw the more modern Dobro earlier, here is an older one from around 1935. There we go, nice and simple, nice V-profile neck, not too chunky, with the single resonator cone. In fairly good condition, bit of clouding to the finish, but other than that, fairly good condition for the age. Something a bit different from Gibson in terms of acoustics. Don't see many of these around. This is a late 1970s Gibson MK-72. It's from around 1977. It's been through the mill a little bit. Has signs of wear, no major breaks. It looks as if the neck has been reset at some stage. You can see here where the table has been affected from that. So it has had a neck reset. Action is still a little high, which is caused by some bellying, so it probably does need some work going on. But you can get a now vintage Gibson acoustic for sort of mid hundreds, and they are not bad. Now this is nice, especially if you love Les Pauls, especially white Les Paul customs, but you don't want to pay the Gibson price tag. So this is a Tokai from around 1985. This is the LS60 model. Yeah, essentially it's got all the specs of Les Paul custom from that period. Apart from, you do have a rosewood board with this one, not ebony, but you do get the block inlays. But there we go, 1985 Tokai LS60. And in here we have from around 2008 this one. This is the Fender Hot Rod 50s Telecaster. known as the Hot Rod because it's got this Seymour Duncan mini humbucker pickup in the neck position. You don't see many of these around. I've only sold 2 or 3 of them over the many auctions that we've held in the 15 plus years here. But this is a particularly nice example, and it's really nice lightweight as well. I believe, from memory, I did catalogue this one yesterday, I think it's under 3 kilos, which is a fantastic weight really. So really nice lightweight, nice satin feel neck, so lovely to play. So if you're and this pickup really does sound good, nice and warm. So if you want if you want a decent Telecaster with that humbucker in the neck position of good quality, these tend to hammer at somewhere in the region of £800 to £1,200. So a decent guitar, and yeah, I can't vouch for them enough really. And in the Gibson case, we have a Les Paul Studio in this 3-tone sunburst finish. Nice clean condition, as you can see. This one is from 2008, I think. Yep, there we go, 2008. Just got a flash of the serial number. It comes with its hard case. Another decent quality guitar. Estimate-wise, £600 to £800. Another vintage curiosity. So Eastern European guitars. This is from around 1960, much like the Burns. You can see the kind of styling of the era. And this is an Otwin bass guitar. And simple design, 1 pickup, volume and tone. It's all working. It has had some restoration, as you can see, but just another vintage curiosity that hammer price wise will probably bring £150 to £250. So nice, cheap, simple bass. Yeah, this is quite a nice guitar actually. Epiphone Les Paul Special, as you can see, from 2022. So only a couple of years old, in this yellow finish. So the special model got the single cutaway with the 2 soap bar pickups. But yeah, good quality thing. The Epiphone quality just keeps on improving and improving. And yeah, if you want a P90 loaded guitar, then for a few £100 you can indulge yourself. This is probably my personal guitar of the week. It'll be no surprise, I think, looking at the case. It is a SG, but I love this thing. So 2011, I believe. Yep, there we go, 2011 Gibson SG Junior. But it's really, really nice, lightweight guitar, just a single dog ear P90. Really nice and resonant. Just keeps going, keeps singing. Probably can't hear it, but it is still going. Still feel it, yeah. Yeah, I really do like this guitar.
Hasn't it got 1 control too many though?
Yeah, it doesn't need the tone control. We'll just
Biff that off.
We'll just bypass that, and it'll be the perfect instrument. But yeah, I really do like that guitar. Like I said, lightweight, resonant, nice and simple, fantastic condition, especially considering it's now 14 years old. Not bad, eh? This is fresh in the door this morning. So we have an Epiphone bass. This is the Jack Cassidy signature model in the gold finish. There we go, with the Electar bespoke pickup for the model. It's missing its pick guard, this one, but otherwise it's in good condition with its case. There we go. And this one is from 2009, I believe. Yep, there we go, 2009 Jack Cassidy signature bass. I'm sure you all know by now, because I tell you probably every video, that we do sell amps, pedals and similar things. So here we have a full stack that you've probably all been drooling over as you've been seeing it maybe in the back of the video, or maybe you haven't. But if you are into Marshall, and in particular Randy Rhoads, then this is the Randy Rhoads signature, so the 1959 RR amplifier. So you've got the head and the matching cabinets, and it's in fantastic condition. Cabinets have got their dust covers, the head has its original box and packaging and manual. Doesn't look like it's been used or been out much, but there we go. Limited edition amplifier, Randy Rhodes 1959 RR Marshall Super Lead Mark II. Great amp, and these days quite collectible. In here we have a good quality German bass guitar. We have the Warwick Corvette Standard thumb bass, and just in good condition, bit of buckle rash on the back. This guitar is actually being sold for charity. It's being sold on behalf of the Berkhamsted Rotary Club, so to raise funds for their cause. But yeah, a nice bass, clean condition, and I don't think these Warwick basses need much introduction to the bass community. Very good guitars. So a lot of you will know, but for those who don't, Guild guitars now owned by Fender, or they have been for a long time now. So in here we do have a Guild. This is a Bluesbird, and I'll flip it over and you will see Fender Custom Shop. So for those of you who weren't aware of the this fact with Guild, that is why there is a Fender Custom Shop logo on the back. So the Bluesbird model was initially made. They were initially made in the Fender Custom Shop. Now this guitar in particular was reputedly purchased from the NAMM show when the guitars were launched. So bought in NAMM. I think it was one of 4 that it had there, yeah, the Fender Custom Shop made them for a while, and then they went into sort of full non-custom shop production. So this is a Guild Bluesbird Fender Custom Shop. Very nice guitar indeed, very high quality. Comes with its original case. There we go. And more Fender stock, and this is an actual Fender branded guitar. This is a Stevie Ray Vaughan signature Stratocaster in fantastic condition. Don't think this guitar needs any introduction. 1996 this one was made, so getting on a bit now, nearly 30 years old, but incredible condition. Comes with its case, all the papers, nice thing. And we have another Fender signature guitar in here, this time a bass, and this is the Stu Ham Urge bass. It's actually quite nice and light, this one. It doesn't look like it would be, but it is quite light for a bass guitar at least. But of course you've got the Stu Ham setup here with the jazz pickups and the precision pickups, all the switching, a very versatile bass. There we go, matching headstock, Urge 2. Great condition, black finish. There is some scratching on the back, but I think that is acceptable for the age. This was made in 1999, so there we go. Like I said, original case, another nice guitar. Here's a fun, quirky thing. This is a K guitar, the Hatchet, but known as the K45, I think, for obvious reasons. So there we go, little bit of fun, little travel guitars. Comes with the original strap, and these were made in Korea. I think probably one of the best condition ones I've seen for a while, but there we go. Could be yours for £150, 200, something like that. Nice little quirky electric. So in here, another nice acoustic, and this is by a maker called Atkin, who has got quite a name for himself now. UK builder, and I think if you have a look at the headstock, bit of an unusual inlay. So this is a very early example, sort of quite different now, much more refined. This has had years of use, but it's a very high quality guitar. You can see the quality timbers that have been used. Lots of checking throughout on the finish, but yeah, it's a nice instrument, and always very Martin inspired. Again, like a lot of acoustic makers are. There we go, an Atkin acoustic guitar. And another very fine UK guitar maker. This is Brook Guitars, and this is their Tour model, and this is made with some quite stunning yew wood. That is the feature of this model. So we've got yew back and sides, typical spruce top. There we go, and we've got the Maori fishhook inlay to the 12th fret, which is a good luck symbol to some. But yeah, really high quality guitar, lovely thing in great condition. And what will we get for that? 12 to 1500 pounds hammer. So that's a lot of guitar for the money. So in here, and I absolutely love these guitars, is a Kalamazoo. So these were made 1930s, 1940s. Gibson made under the Kalamazoo brand, and little small-bodied, perfect little blues guitars, finger-picking guitars, and I really do love them. Really. Nice lightweight, really comfortable to play with a nice V profile, and we tend to get £800 to £1,200 for these, but I'd imagine this one would sell for probably at least £1,000 on the hammer. Nice example. Got a lot of time for them. So in here, finishing with something quite special, I think. A wonderful thing. As you'll see from the case, it's not a modern guitar, it's a very old guitar, but I think 1894, which is when Orville started making instruments, and then some years later, in 1902 to be exact, the Gibson company was founded. Now, this guitar was made in 1912, so only 10 years after the company was founded, they came out with this new acoustic, sort of arched acoustic guitar with the round hole, and this is a first year of the Gibson L-4 model. So this is a 1912 Gibson L-4, first year, and as you can see, lots of checking throughout, but very fine checking, and generally you cannot believe the condition of this instrument. So this is, I mean, thinking of the 1902 to 1912 date, you'd probably get some guitars, even within 10 years of being made these days, being in worse condition than this is now. So the original case has long gone. Apparently that disintegrated, but it's a very, very nice example. And quite amazingly, these guitars, I mean, I'm going to say only because it's a lot of money to some people, but the value of these guitars is somewhere in the region of £2,500 to £3,500, which is quite crazy considering how old this instrument is. Like I said, 1912, so it's an antique instrument, well over 100 years old now. Over 120 years old now, isn't it? 113. It's not over 120 years old, it's 113. Quick math. The auctioneer here, they can't count. So there we go, 113 years old. And the history right back to the original owner is thought to be known. So obviously it's been word of mouth, but essentially the history that we have is the current owner bought this in the 2000s, mid 2000s, from a US eBay listing, and we've got some email correspondence between the two, and so the previous owner, he'd actually bought this guitar in 1996 in a furniture auction in Atlantic City. He saw an advertisement just saying an old Gibson guitar, nothing more than that, not elaborating on it anymore. So he decided to go down and have a look, and sort of found this guitar there, and he thought, wow, I'm going to have a go on that. Sort of wanted it for himself, and then he won the auction, and then afterwards he was lucky enough that the daughter of the original owner was actually at the auction, and after he'd bought it, she introduced herself to him, and gave the story that it was her dad's. Now, her dad was a guitarist, started learning guitar in the early 1900s, and he was getting involved in a band. And in 1912, when Gibson brought out their new model of acoustic guitar, all the money he'd saved he put into buying this instrument. So he brought it home, and he sort of showed it to his dad, and his dad, and then he sort of said to his dad that he was, you know, their band was getting quite good and they were getting bookings to go out on the road. So he said to his dad, right, well, you know, I'm going to go and do that. And basically, his dad forbid him from doing it. Said, no, you need to come and work with me at a printer's. He was a printer in the printing industry, and said, you need to come and get your apprenticeship with the printers. So he basically did as he was told by his father, and then he ended up just putting the guitar away in its case where it was stored ever since, very rarely coming out. Hence why the guitar has remained in such good condition. So the daughter that this previous owner met at the auction, she was well into her 80s then. So it's yeah, fantastic really to hear the history of these guitars, especially when you find them in this condition, because it just gives you more belief that everything is right. Which obviously it does appear to be on the face of it, but it's just nice to have those stories and provenance with them. So like I said, 113 years old. The maths has been done, calculated by my fellow cameraman here, Chris, for those of you who know him. And yes, I think it's a wonderful thing, shall we say. So a 1912 Gibson L-4, first year, in fantastic condition. So there we go, ladies and gents. Thanks for joining us again today for another consignment update here at Gardner Holgate Auction Rooms in Corsham, Wiltshire, UK. As I said before, these guitars will all feature in our next auction on the 11th to the 14th of March. The consignment deadline is the 31st of January, should you happen to have anything for that sale. But otherwise, head over to the website, guitarauctions.com, where you will start to see previews. We will be uploading some at the end of this week. Not everything we've got, but some things as and when we process them. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, hit the bell icon so you can get notified for future video updates. And we will be back next week with hopefully another bumper selection of guitars to show you that are coming up on the March auction. We look forward to seeing you next time.